Georgia football just got great news as a top target decommits from a rival program, and the Georgia Bulldogs just might be next for him. We got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Georgia Football 365. If you are a Georgia Bulldogs fan, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. But let's jump right into what we got for today. The Georgia Bulldogs already have 17 recruits committed in the class of 2027, and it has felt like over the past week that the recruiting class is just about finished. But today we get another update in the form of Kaden Fife, a 6'5", 290-pound defensive lineman who has decommitted from the Tennessee Volunteers and is now back in the recruiting pool. I'm going to explain in a second here why Georgia is the likely favorite to land him. But let's quickly go over the player profile for Fife on 24/7 Sports. He is rated a 3-star recruit, an 89 overall, according to 24/7 Sports. They have him ranked as the 50th best defensive tackle in the class and the 19th best player in the state of Alabama. For the composite grade, which is an average of the other recruiting websites, Yahoo Sports, Rivals, On3, and ESPN, they have him rated as a 4-star recruit and ranked as the 355th best player in the country. The defensive line rankings and state rankings pretty similar to what 24/7 Sports has him rated as, but everyone agrees this is a very good defensive lineman. And going over the timeline, we can see why the Georgia Bulldogs are the favorite to land this recent decommitment. On June 5th, Fife visited the Tennessee Volunteers where he was already committed. You would imagine that at that time, everything was, decent. Stuff was okay. In this era, even the guys that you already have committed, you have to continue to recruit them. They call it, you have to recruit in your locker room. So this was a recruit in your own locker room type of moment for the Tennessee Volunteers. But after that, 1 week later on June 12th, Fife visited the Georgia Bulldogs, and clearly things went well with that recruitment, as 12 days after that, which brings us to present day, June 24th, Fife decommits from the Tennessee Volunteers, and our insiders are telling us that Georgia is the new favorite to land this defensive lineman. Whenever someone decommits from a program, the favorite is always going to be what was the most recent visit, if that recruit was on the visiting trail, and if they were visiting other schools, who was the most recent one? Georgia makes a ton of sense. Georgia is a great program, has an amazing history of putting out high-level defensive linemen to the NFL, developing them well, recruiting them well, getting them paid in the NFL, getting them drafted high, and winning football games on top of that. So should Fife join Georgia, he would be joining a class that already has 17 hard commits, headlined by running back Kamon Spell, the number 1 rated running back in the class. He's a 5-star recruit, one of 2 5-star recruits committed to Georgia, the other one being Jackson Dollar, 6'5" tight end from Denver, North Carolina. Georgia has been fantastic, of course, for tight ends. Think Oscar Delp, before that Brock Bowers, and other tight ends throughout the history of the program. The other top commits in this 2027 class include Kennedy Jackson, a 6'6" offensive tackle who's a 4-star, and then Jameer Dean, a 4-star wide receiver, 6'2", 175 pounds. But just quickly bringing it back to Kaden Fife, we do have his scouting report, according to Hudson Standish, a 24/7 Sports national analyst, on what we can expect Fife to bring to whatever program he's going to be going to at the next level. We have a really good feeling it's going to be the Georgia Bulldogs, but let's learn some more about this prospect. Hulking defensive lineman who operates outside the tackles on Friday nights in Georgia's Class A D1 and will slide inside at the next level. So right now for his high school team, plays defensive end. He's going to come inside, play 3-tech or 0-tech or something inside at the next level. Believed to be hovering around 6'5", 295 pounds, but does not have had his frame verified yet by a third party or in a combine setting. So the original profile had him at 6'4.5", 290. If you noticed, when we originally read off these numbers, we boosted it up to 6'5", 295 because that's what our analysts here are telling us that is the weight that he's walking around at. Possesses fantastic fluidity for a point of attack defender, which suggests immense pass rushing upside. Interior defensive linemen who can get after the passer are a very rare commodity, and that is something that is very, very important for not only the SEC, which is a line of scrimmage league, but all over the landscape of college football and in the NFL. Pursues the football at a high level and regularly makes effort plays down the line of scrimmage or chasing quarterbacks in the backfield. Everyone that Georgia will ever recruit, they're going to have a ton of talent. The thing that separates the star college players from the bust college players is how much effort do you put in. When it comes to the NFL draft, they say talent sets the floor, but character sets the ceiling. You need to recruit players that have both the talent that they were born with and the willingness to put in the effort to maximize that talent. And that's what you're hoping that Fife brings to the table. So you love here, pursues the ball well, and you love that effort point as well. Needs to improve pad level and learn how to consistently find leverage. Football, low man always wins. If you're O lineman, D lineman, you want to make sure you're getting low, bending over at your knees, not at your hips, and essentially just get low, get inside the chest pads of your opponent and move them, and don't get moved yourself. That's essentially what O-line, D-line play comes down to. It must improve punch power and anchor strength if he's going to thrive along the interior at the Power 4 level. So Georgia certainly at the top of the Power 4 level. Fife is going to have to hit the weight room a little bit, get a little bit stronger, get that punch power. So when he does punch an offensive lineman right in the middle of their chest pads, get a little pushback there. Going to have to get in the weight room. They'll be perfectly fine at Georgia. We got some pretty good facilities. Likely will need some time to get adjusted to big-time college football, but has a high ceiling and physical traits that suggest eventual NFL upside. Hey, everyone loves watching their favorite team's players get drafted to the NFL, succeed in the NFL, and what that also does is you can then turn around and show recruits, hey, look at X, Y, and Z players coming from Georgia going to the NFL. Wouldn't you like to be that next type of guy? Come to Georgia. We will develop you. You're going to maybe win a championship at Georgia. Definitely win a ton of football games and some SEC championships at Georgia. Then you're going to be drafted highly in the NFL draft, and you're probably going to be successful at the next level in the NFL as well. That is a really, really strong recruiting pitch. Sprinkle in a little bit of NIL money on top of there, and then you're going to have a lot of these recruits wrapped up. That's how you do it when you are the Georgia Bulldogs. So, we're going to continue to monitor this story, but it does feel like the Georgia Bulldogs will be getting this commitment of Kaden Fife. It's just about a matter of time. That's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Go Dogs.